Good morning and good afternoon, or good night, depending on what time you're watching this. You know, I have a video. There's one I made, and it's called Grasshoppers and Ants, but I can't exactly put it up yet. I want to say it, but I think you understand what I mean. If you can't, look at a bug's life. You can attribute me to that. There's so much stuff. I'm putting this up here, and I'll just say, for the sake of the background, right? I'm like, it is. This is like a roadside shot. I was just talking to one of my family members, in the Caribbean, and I'm just like, amazing. Last night we were watching videos on YouTube as well, and I was talking to her about that, about some videos made by Drew. He's taking trips around to Syria, to Istanbul, to all these places, to Afghanistan, all these places, and I said, it's wonderful. It's amazing to see how people can get you travel and see this, and you see the lives of people around there, how different it is. I'm like, to see the stuff there, and I'm like, it's beautiful. See a lot of fresh fruits, fresh produce, fresh stuff, authentic, say, wares, instead of what they make of carpets and jewelry and apparel and stuff. I mean, it's beautiful. And I said, how interesting life is sometimes, because I'm like, I want to say what I want to say, but I can't say what I want to say fully because, they're going to give you a strike or block. But then I see other people saying it, and I'm like, they're allowed to say it. Maybe I can see if we can say something. So let's see how this goes, right? Pretty much the idea is that I look at this stuff, right? I'm always talking to my friend, my friend in the other videos, you'll see it one day when we get a chance to talk more free too. But it's like, stuff like the systems we have set up. I'm talking to one of my good friends about the system I see also in India, about the caste system. And then, to the top echelon, and then to go to the bottom to the untouchables. I'm watching videos in Mongolia, in China, watching videos in Russia, I watch videos in China, I watch videos, of the Caribbean islands, I watch videos of, here in the US and other places around. And I'm very, very thankful. Thank God for that people are making videos. I'm not going to tell you, make more. So Jew, if you're hearing this, make more. And to everyone making videos about their country, make it. Because something, we really don't know what we don't know. Unless somebody tells us or shows us. This is in the Bible. Unless somebody preaches or tells us, we won't know. So people are making videos of their lives, about what they see. And I'm like, this is good. I watched one guy make a video about some parts in Russia. And it's like, he's walking through the areas and the towns. And it's like, this place is dumb. This place is bad. You can make it better. You can do things better. And he's telling it to the provincial mayor at the time there. And I'm like, what year is this? He's talking to the mayor about this thing in Russia? Is Russia really as they tell us? What about Ukraine? What about Turkey? What about China? What about Africa? Why is Africa always, well, let's say north of south? Well, what I'm going to say. Why is poverty even existent in this time we have? No, I'm not speaking on behalf of anybody. I'm speaking on my own. It's just a question I have, and I'm like, I've been trying to ask him for a while, but I'm like, I can't answer. But you see in the video, I'm trying to push to the edge and say, what can happen? I don't want to go over here, but I'm just want to push the edge and say, why do we have systems of parties? Democrat, Republican. Why do we have systems of apartheid, segregation, Jim Crow? Why do we have things of like the Black Wall Street, Tulsa massacre, which I heard was supposed to be a riot, but the reality says something different? Why do we have towns and areas out here that are still buried underground in the U.S., around different parts of the world? Let me get out the roadway. I'm sitting on the roadside. I won't hit by no car now, as I said. We don't want to go over the edge or be run over the edge, Hello. Why do we have those systems still set up? Where it's like, well, it was set up that time. It's over now, right? I only heard maybe a year and a half ago that in some parts there's still laws. There were still laws in the books, whereby you weren't allowed to marry somebody outside of your own nationality and race. Why is that permitted? Why is that even an issue? I saw the video about, marry your own, date with my own, talk to my own, hang with my own. Who is my own? If we're all part of the one human race, is there anybody to say own? If we're all part of God's creation, we're all created in His image, male and female. He made them. Is there any way people can say my own? Can I say there's any caste system in God's law and in God's land? My friend said, for religious reasons, some people don't have that anymore, but other places they do. So I'm like, well, why do people who now have social media and all this stuff and all these things where they can now be more exposed to information? Well, here's another thing too. Social media is one thing I was watching, And, you know, we watch it, and, you know, again, I tell you, I don't really like making videos too much about it because you can only say so much. And then I'm always trying to board it, you know, trying to see, Lord, how much, looking for snakes sometimes, I'm looking, you see, I'm looking down, you know, I'm hitting the dog again, you know, all of us. We're trying to see how much are we really permitted to say before somebody zips it, blocks it, flags it or something. And why should you not be allowed to speak freely as you need to speak freely? Because we learn from other people. Hello, we learn from what we see, we learn from what we hear, we learn from what other people tell us. Why should we not be allowed to speak freely? Why is anybody trying to monopolize or police the situation whereby they're trying to say, you can say some things, but then you cannot say other things? I understand you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or promote violence or promote something to harm anybody, but if someone just pointing out what they see as an issue, next to Trench, I'm also watching that. It makes you know times I didn't get brother, you know what I'm saying? How there's so many things I want to say. You can if you can only imagine. There's so many things you want to say also. And I'm like, so Drew said he made a video on Syria and talking about what's happening there. And I saw videos about Syria and Aleppo and all the parts, and they showed some of the ruins from the war and the oh goodness. The people that are still trying to rebuild shops and stuff. This, you know, the video's about a couple months old. Maybe he said he uploaded some old and new clips together. And I'm like, the people are still, they're so loving and welcoming. They're giving the chai, I think the tea, chai, and they're hugging and they're happy to see them, and everyone's giving them a little gift for free and all this stuff. And I'm like, do you know how many wonderful people we have in this world right now? And thankfully so. Look what, you saw the videos I made in the Sea World, just, you know, just sitting in the seat, just watching people walk by. We have so much talent and potential for good. So many good things we can do to help each other and to help our families and our friends. And people just want to work, live their lives in peace, take care of their families, have a decent earning so they can at least provide for themselves to get food, clothes, and shelter, and be happy. That's what's such a beacon and draw to the United States of America, you know, and other countries too. And not everybody can fit in America, as you can see already. Everybody can come to America. Not everybody who do want to come to, because why? They have other things in their country that they can also utilize, or maybe they don't have it, and maybe they may not be permitted to. That's other areas, you know, for another time to deal with. But just think about it, right? I look at videos last night. I watched a video on Mongolia, and I'm like, I was misunderstood. I was hear about the Mongols, and you hear about Genghis Khan and all this stuff and other people, and hear about the wars and stuff back then. History is not as they told us. And who's the they? A lot of things are not as they told us, you know, and I'm like, even though I heard this stuff back then, I learned it from different books. But I also heard the books can be changed. Images in churches were changed. Pictures and art was changed. A lot of things were changed. Some towns are still buried on the grounds of highways, even in the U.S. Do you know how painful that is? Why bury it instead of giving it recognition or acknowledging it? Don't just give me a museum or some accolade to tell me, I mean, me? When I say me, I mean all of us, I and I. Don't just give me a museum and say, yeah, I acknowledge it. But say that, hey, I'm sorry for it. We'll not repeat that again. Why do we have separations? Why do we have racism? Why do we have racial issues? Is there racism really? Is there racial issues still? You may feel mistreated by some people, and you will see some people do some things, you know, in terms of like, you know, violence against another. And it's not condoned on any side. But you also have issues of the same race selling each other into slavery per se back then, as even now. You still have some people harming the other, trafficking the other, all these things. Why is there issue? Why are these things still existing today with all this communication technology and information and all the wealth they have now? Why is poverty still here? Why are people suffering when they should be happier? Why people can't afford to live where they want to live? Why now people have to park their cars someplace and keep the trunks and stuff open because somebody's going to break into it? And they have gangs set up so organized now that they can rob your trunk and take your car, take all your stuff, and then, I mean, if they ain't take your life at one point in purpose. Hello, you know, and it's like, man, if you let these things, and people say, oh, don't focus on the negatives. Well, the reason why we spotlight the negative is to say, hey, shine light on it so people can sit and say, listen, we don't want that here. We don't have that here. How many times do you hear about some stories of some crime or something happened in some parts, and it says, oh, such things never happened in our town. These violence things never happened in our town, but it's happening, and it did happen. So what are you going to do about it? And are you permitted to do anything about it? The video on Grasshoppers and Ants I was trying to make before was that, why are the few governing so many? And why are the many being permitted or allowing themselves to be governed by the few, if it's to their detriment and hurt? Why not say no more? Why are there caste systems still in this earth existent? Why are there still slavery spots? Why are people still being trafficked? Why are people still being harmed, especially young girls and women? I tell you, protect your women. Why are children being trafficked and hurt? Why are people still robbing and... Oh, goodness. So they want to go to CBDC and digital currency and all this stuff, but all with these things. There's a million cameras around the world that they tell you is there, that's there, is there. And yet, the crime is not going down. If you look at the videos and the other ones there, I mean, now it's that thing, it's like, oh goodness, it's like, how many? Is it 800 plus? I don't know. I mean, some of them still, they have like copyrighted music and stuff because I'm trying to, say things, I'm trying to change it up a little bit. But think about it. There's so many things going on right now at any given instant. And people are they what? Are they even allowed to speak about it? When they try, they can get flagged or shut down. Some people get threatened. Some people get harmed. Yeah, hello. Yeah. Some people get, it's just sad. It's just sad that people are not allowed to speak freely as they want to. Now I'm speaking, while in the country, and in the United States of America, by the grace of God, thank God, when we came here, it's been a blessing for us, growing up in the Caribbean to come here. And for many people too. At the same time, sometimes something as simple as going to the beach or going somewhere, and I'm saying how different it is to go to a beach here in Florida as opposed to going in a beach in, say, another state, former states we traveled from, where you have to drive miles and miles and miles. Understood. You're living in the city closer, far from the coast. I understand. But then there's fees and tolls and things, all these things set up whereby it's like, it's not the same in here. And it's like, how is it the population is almost similar in some respects if you add it all together, but yet there's so much more oppressive laws in some states versus others. I understand each state should be individually governed, but are they really? We all are tied to such a unique system. Hello, the federal government, whereby, you can say that, as a republic, all the different democratic states, right? Democratic or Republican states should be a republic, right? Whereby, not just the majority rule, but it should be by the consent of the governed in terms of a representative government, from what I understand, should be able to at least put their ideas and thoughts together and say, hey, okay, we can do such and such, but yet the states have a certain, mandate or rule by the people to say we can accept or not accept. Dogs are like fighting in the back of the fence there, yeah. Having fun here. Are these dogs like wrestling in the back there? But either way, there's some dogs. One wants to bark. Well, so you ever seen that too? One dog will bark, and all of a sudden the other one next to it will bark. And if the dog that attacks something, the other one will either watch on or jump in. And they don't know. It's almost like instinct, almost like humans. So let's go back to the stuff about it. Why are these things permitted to be there still? So Jew in Syria, yeah, I tell you, I never stay on topic because that's just who I am. There's a lot of stuff going on in my mind I got to talk and think about. And that's for my sake. If I want to just talk for no reason, I'm just saying, I see these things. I don't want to, make videos of travel and stuff like that. I'm a person. I'm an individual. I have things I see, and I'm just curious if people see it too, and I want to know what's your view on that. So please share your comments and stuff like that, because I see videos. People send videos from TikTok and WhatsApp and everything else, and they're hating one party or liking one party, hating a policy or liking one policy, and I'm like, we say all these things here, but what about what's happening overseas? Do they not think it's going to come and affect us too? What's happening in Australia and Canada, Afghanistan, China, Russia, all these places, Afghanistan stuff? You could come here any minute. What's happening in the Latin American countries? Could come here too. Well, in Peru, Mexico. At the same time, I'm saying there's so many beautiful things in those countries on their own. There's so many beautiful things people have. So many talents and artworks and crafts. So many beautiful things out there. Who is trying to end this beauty? I have an idea. I know. I want to know if you know. Who is trying to stop all this productivity? Who is trying to stop all this collaboration? Who is trying to stop all this unity? Who is trying to divide us? I know Jesus said, a house divided against itself cannot stand. I know he said, pretty much, that if you try, pretty much we're all one body. So if the ear is fighting with the hand and legs and everything else, and every other part is fighting each other, you can't make anything right. You cannot do it. And if you build your house in sink and sand, it's going to fall. So whose advice are we taking when we live? What standard are we living by that tells us that I, a human being, I am either better or lower than the other one? Hey, I'm going to jump to another thing. Going back to the Mongolia. Hello, right? So Mongolia, I'm surprised to watch me. I tell you, I'm like surprised how history was. I've thought Mongols are part of a China thing, but I don't know. It's a lot of issues I see right there. But they said they're located between China and Russia, and I'm like, that's interesting. And I'm watching the video. There's the videos talking about how young women are living there now and how they can continue the traditions, how things are changing. But you also remember a video we saw, not we saw, but I saw it, Fiddle on the Roof. You know, I saw the one about the Anne Klein story. I've listened about the Vera Sharov's video on also about the Holocaust. So many things, and I mean the wars, the civil wars, so many things. But this one in particular, Mongolia, and I'm saying, the one girl said she wanted to become a doctor, and I'm like, it seems to be that's one of the highest things to achieve in this world as a doctor. I mean, next to a president. Is there a level of how high you can be? Like in the caste system, there's the intellectuals and the top people, they call the head, and then you have suppose you said the protectors or the soldiers in between there. I'm guessing the military. I'm probably butchering the whole saying it, but I'm like, there shouldn't be any caste system in particular. Everyone should be free, in my opinion, you know? And then they talk about how the producers and the manual laborers and then the untouchables. And I'm like, that sounds similar to slavery and apartheid and segregation and Jim Crows and all these laws they have set up of colored versus non-colored. I'm not trying to stir up no racism. I'm just saying, instead of fighting with the person and the other person there, why not ask who's the one that's putting these policies in place? Maybe you need to speak with them. Why are we fighting with each other and amongst ourselves when we have people that are setting, we have people that are the ones setting these things in place? We're living because of the policies set by others or somebody who got there first. You saw the videos we made on Florida of going back into the past, and seeing how it is, and how is it that, St. Augustine and places they were colonized before, and then they were made, subject before to the Spanish, and then passed hands into the British, and then passed hands again back to the Spanish and into the Americans, and yet before it wasn't conquered. But at the same time, people were alive then and not now. Lands taken from the Indians, and then some people say no, some said by the Europeans, some said who was here. Well, who was here first? And then if you were there first, is it okay to share or not share? How was this country founded? How was colonization done? How would I'm just, think about it, man. I mean, this is a long video. I'm sorry it's long, but I'm just saying, I think you know it too. And some people are allowed to say it, and some people are not allowed to say it. I'm like, it started with the video saying mute, don't block me, back in when I first started doing them. And I'm still new to it. So I'm hoping they don't block it, because I'm just saying, it's nice to get answers. And it's nice to people. I'm not trying to stir people up to go violence and attack each other. I'm trying to tell them to not attack each other, not go violent each other, not be divided, not believe in racism, not believe in a caste, do not believe in those things. Do not follow those things. Okay? People say, oh, it's sacrilege. No, enough is enough. How many grasshoppers and ants? How many grasshoppers and ants do we need in this world? And why are the ants being governed by the grasshoppers? And grasshoppers, what do you think about this? Ants, what do you think about that? Who are the grasshoppers? Who are the ants? Who are essential? So we talk about, the doctors at the top echelon and the presidents and the diplomats and those things. Like, a video friend sent me this one about something called classified and unclassified. About Donald Trump and all these other stuff and different political parties. I have no political party, so, I just like to see people fighting for what's right and liberty and freedom and stuff for everybody, So I'm saying, they're making one there, and I said, it looks like one big uni party. They tell us this, they tell us that. I tell them, sorry, I'm just saying it. I don't believe these people are actually elected anymore. I think they're selected. Because if you look at the vote counts and how things go, sometimes you say, how is it possible that despite everybody voting for this or somebody showing this was favor for one candidate or another, how is it one person got in but the other did not? How is it that the person who's in charge allowed this to happen to them or him or her? And then what is he or she doing to fight against that? And if it happened to you, would you take it and land down like that? Would you take it like that? Why were we allowed to go through what we went through the last couple of years? And what are you going to do about it? What are we doing about it? Is anybody upset? Is anybody speaking up about it? You know what I'm talking about. Subtract a couple of years from this. You know what I'm talking about. Call it see something. Okay? See something. Letter C. Think about it. Why were these things allowed to happen under this and such watch? But yet the people say that they're looking out for our benefit. What happened in Australia? What happened to the prime minister? You know, after everything happened, then they decided to step down. So it's like, oh, it's taken over. Oh, we just kind of resolved it. There should be accountability. There should be hearings. There should be lawsuits. There should be judgments. There should be paybacks. Not payback in violence, but there should be what you call, when you get a lawsuit, you should pay the fee, pay the fine. Instead, we're busy trying to move on. What are we moving on from? If you get in an accident in the road, and especially in the U.S., you should have insurance or something, right? And insurance is made to settle issues that, maybe you didn't plan for to happen. But then again, the question is, was this planned? I have my own answer. I'm asking you, you think it was planned? If it was planned, what are you going to do about it? What did you do about it? What do you plan to do about it? If it wasn't planned, are we certain of that? Are we certain of the information given to us? Are we certain of all the information we get fed to us on social media or the TV or the news or the narrative, all this stuff? We're watching news feeds all the time. And I'm saying, I wish I could answer questions as a politician. These guys are so polished. You listen to them sometimes, they ask a question. And they said, politicians don't answer they don't answer the question necessarily what you ask them, but they answer the question that they want to answer. And I'm like, man, such an amazing way that they can do it, the linguistics and how they can speak and talk. And I'm like, I wish I could talk that way. I talk fast enough as it is, but I'm trying to talk slow here. Because I think you understand what I'm saying. My heart is bubbling over and aching. I kind of get this thing out because I'm just saying, keeping stuff in there. Look, I'm just making videos 2 months now, something, but if it even goes through, I pray to God it does. Who's trying to monetize? Monetize might be a dream. I'm just saying this. I just want people to understand. I am here. I am one of you. We're all in together. That's what's called I and I, you and me. And we're just trying to let people know, hey, we care about life and liberty and happiness and freedom for everybody. We want everyone to be free. We don't want young girls to be harmed and attacked and hurt. Young boys either to be harmed, attacked, hurt. We don't want anybody fighting over bathrooms, fighting with the systems, fighting with police, fighting with law enforcement, all this stuff there. Self-defense is one thing. But there should not be this division constantly. And then people says, I want retribution and reparations. Well, where you get reparations from? And from who? Where do you start? If we were created from God and we're created in His image and He made us in the Garden of Eden, from the creations, from my belief, then who harmed who first? Who's responsible for all this calamity, all this disaster on earth? Who's responsible for all this pain and hurt? And what are we going to do about it? Are we going to follow in the footsteps and, you'd hit me, I hit you back. And smite me, I smite you back. How are we going to deal with this? How are we going to manage it? If God said be angry and sin not, how are we going to manage this? Because think about it, right? We have a limited time to live. Each of us, a limited time to live. We're here on the earth for a few years. Sometimes, sadly, I told you, even in the hospitals, you see some people here on earth for a few minutes. You're here for such a short time. What are you going to spend the time doing? Would it be better to be born a bird or a squirrel or a snake or a fish or a shark? Why would God make us into human beings? Why would He make us as beings like this with such a potential to do good and bad? We have so much potential. So much potential. This is the part that hurts, man. We could do so many wonderful things. Look at the phones, look at the things, look at technology, look at the cameras, look at the detail, look at the microphones, look at the roads, look at the cars, look at the look at the system they make, electronics, look at the software, look at the carpet, look at the ingenuity, look at the dishes, look at the foods, look at the stuff. Take a look at those videos on. This is YouTube. I'm spitting out, I'm talking. I'm like, it's just, I can't even say it all because I'm missing so many categories. But look at the talents people have. Look at the stuff. Look how they speak. Look at language acquisition. Look at the intellect. Look how high they can go. So when they talk about essential workers, non-essential workers, who is essential, who is not? And who determines that? What is normal, what is not? Who determines that? Excuse me. I know right and wrong. I know good and evil from what God said. That's a standard. So the question is, world, everyone watching this from all over the world in different countries, by what standard are you governing yourself, and what standard are you applying to others? By what standard are we saying this is what is correct, this is what is not? As again before I said, it's okay, I keep hearing, to wear bikinis and stuff and some clothing on the beach, but you're not allowed to wear it in the street. But some states you're allowed to wear it in the street, but some days you're not allowed to. What? Okay. Who are making the laws? Is the Supreme Court make the final decision? Well then, how could the Supreme Court then say it's okay for for businesses to not force 100 or more employees to get such and such, but then it's okay for hospitals to do that to such and such. I thought it's fair application of the law supposed to be like when they had back when slavery time, when it's segregation, when they said, it was knocked down because of, besides the civil rights and on movements, and a lot of questions going on with that too. What happened? Some things were infiltrated, like we see happening now. Flies attacking me as usual, right? Is it fair and is it equal? Shoe fly, don't bother me. Is it fair and equal? Think about it. How fair, how equal is it that people are allowed to treat people in such a way and to almost, walk and step on other people in a certain way and to harm each other in a certain way? Now, we started all this thing talking about with social media and stuff, how connected it is. It's very connected and very nice to kind of be able to speak to someone in a different country, different place, and to see them and to see the faces and everybody and to see and to talk and stuff when a good signal is there, good Wi-Fi. And now we're here to trying to spread the internet and Wi-Fi around the whole world, whole globe. Everybody should have a smartphone, some kind of device that can actually connect them and they can actually communicate. And I'm saying, is that a good thing? Or is it a bad thing? What happens with increased communications and increased connectivity? Could be bad, depending on how it's used, right? So how do you plan to use it? Now, I know people say, this video is going on long, 26. I watched videos last night for an hour and 47 minutes. I watched some for an hour, more and longer. And I'm like, if it's good, I'm going to listen to the whole content because I want to know what they're talking about. Now, I don't mean to make a long video for the sake of saying, let me see how I'm doing a filibuster. No, I'm just saying, there's a lot of things I want to talk about, and I'm praying that they allow me to talk about it because it's burning in my heart, and I think it's other people too. They're saying some people are being disenfranchised, are being harmed, are being hurt at the expense of others. And for the people who are saying that they care, they're not speaking or saying anything. I don't hear their voices. I do not hear the people saying we see wrong. Well, let me say that over. I do not hear all the people who say they see wrong and it's appalling to them doing something or saying something. Yet I hear people saying, send me money, send me this, do me this, take care of this first, do this for me, do this for me. But are they looking out for others? What's happening in the governments around the world right now? What policies are happening in the banking system around the world right now? I mean, where can you start? I mean, economics, financial, homes, residential, farming versus agriculture. I mean, there's everything you can talk about. The big question I'm asking all the time is, why is there unfair and unequal treatment in this life still existing with all this connectivity and all this supposed talks of peace and safety and security? We have more cameras, we have more weapons, we have more tanks and police cars and all this. We have all this ammunition, we have all this stuff that says that it's meant to maintain peace and order, and yet it's not fully achieved. I understand it's a work in progress, yes, and this is how salvation is a work in progress, and we should not give up on that. I believe God has a big plan at the end of all of this, and He's allowing us to experience what we experience so that we won't let this thing happen again, because He gave us the freedom of choice and think of conscience mind, to think and to be able to, to relate and to communicate with each other, and as you look at stuff, things have changed over the years, things have changed over time. People have changed activities, changed careers, they've changed their lives, they've changed stuff. I mean, they've gone from horse and buggy to cars and stuff, but before that it was even just simple horse or mule and donkey. And yet, it's so weird. I keep telling people, we're a product of our environment. I'm saying this now because the videos I saw in Syria and Afghanistan, all this stuff, they were talking about how it's like almost like a trip back in time. And I would tell you guys to watch and link it. I'm gonna try to link it in this video. A Jew, all I know is Jew. He took trips to 197 countries, and that's a dream of mine. If I can travel to 197 countries, or even there's more, all the countries to see everything, I would. And it'd be so nice to see these beautiful Alps and countries. What I'm saying, oh goodness, what am I not saying? There are so many beautiful places and things in this world to still be seen and discovered. Above ground and underwater and underground. We have not seen it yet. We haven't seen the surface. So please don't try to take yourself out of it. Don't try to end it prematurely. Don't try to end it at all. Let God be God by Himself. Let Him be the determinant of how things go. Why are people trying to stop things from being good? We can all be happy. Everyone can be happy enough to have enough space to sit and to eat and to relax and to be fed and stuff and to have enough to provide for their family and their kids and children in their home. They can all be able to sit back, relax, put your foot up, you know, on the front yard, on the lawn, on the beach, wherever you are, sit in the tree, wherever, and just to on top of a hill or glacier, you know, where you are, from what I've seen, and just to enjoy. Go enjoy the beauty of it. Just see all these videos. Look at the video titles I'm making and the names. Go live, go live, all these things. Listen, life is made to be enjoyed and to be just exercised in it. Go and move around, get mobile, get active, go see, make videos, make other stuff, communicate, talk with each other, but communicate positively, act positively and humbly and kindly. Do not harm each other. Do not let anybody harm you. You know, let's make amends for the past things if possible. Let's not do this division stuff like that anymore. Stop fighting over silly things. Stop fighting over stuff that doesn't promote life. Fighting over concrete and sidewalks and blocks and buildings and tenements and cars and jobs and stuff. I mean, well, you know, cars. Let me say, me say this a bit. Don't scratch the cars. Put it this way: don't scratch the cars. Don't take the cars. Take care of people's property. You know. Oi, I see my friend coming over here. I see them making a big swing. Bye. Oh, road trip over there. And I'm saying, go take a road trip. Go travel this beautiful country. Go travel the world. Make videos and let me know what's going on over there, because I want to know how life is for you over there, because I'm curious. And you know something interesting too? I'll tell people, keep your uniqueness unique. If you live in the Caribbean, we like to hear the accents. I like to hear the accents particularly. I like to hear the accents of different talks. I like to see the different foods and fruits and stuff you have. That's why people travel. And some people build the whole economy based on tourism and stuff, you know, and they base pretty much all that. I was watching, right? All that based upon what they do. Some people's livelihoods is solely on tourism, and for them to base it on, they must have seen something and say, "Hey, I can sense where the weather is going. People are liking to travel and come here." So maybe open up a little shop or maybe a boat or transport. I see one lady taking up, say she's going to ship transporting garbage and stuff from one ship, not. I said the waste, and bring it back and forth until she gets paid to do that. And I'm like, remember I asked the video, what's the best job? And she said, I love what I do because I get to meet different people from all over the world, different countries. And I'm talking fast now because I'm trying to make the video not be too long, right? Let's see it. Let me slow it down. People are doing jobs in things you would never imagine, and some of them are loving it and enjoying it. I want that also. Do a job where you can love and enjoy and be free to speak freely and to do what you want, to not be flagged or blocked because you said something on social media, unless it's like really, really, say, hateful or too destructive to destroy society. If someone's saying they have a preference for a certain car or politics or party, that should not be something that they should be flagging and things for. If they're saying to just kill people, that's bad. But if they're saying to question and ask questions about what people are doing, that's good. We need to be accountable to each other, and we need to be our brothers and sisters keepers. We need to talk. We need to dialogue. We need to interact. We need to exchange ideas. We need to learn. We need to, as God said, sharpen against stone. We need to get ideas across. Like, in the hospital, we love to do like we call a timeout, right? Where they can say, okay, everyone stop. Let's make sure we got the right things going. Everyone's in place. You got the right tools. You got the right setup. You got the right, the right part or organ or whatever you're going to work on. You got the right surgery. You got procedure. This is the right patient, right? Everybody's going to verify, and we stop. I like that idea. Take a moment, stop, pause. Let's make a personification. Make a little leap to that. That's also why God, I believe, created the Sabbath. Take a pause and assess. Take a pause and take a Shabbat. Take a rest and assess. Take some time. Okay, put it to us. Take a break. Take a break. We need to take a break. Take a break and look and see and assess what is happening to this world. What has happened to us? What has happened to the past? I listen to speakers. I listen to people from different religions, different groups, different demographics. I listen to different songs and music from a lot of stuff, and many of them I haven't heard yet. I'm curious to hear and learn more. I want the time and the means, by the grace of God, to go and see and hear more. You have a lot to say, and I'd like to hear what you got to say. But I think it's important. You are important. If it wasn't so, you wouldn't have been created. But here you are. So every life will matter. Every life counts. Every life should count now. Let's get rid of all these systems that make us all so divided. Get rid of all this stuff that makes you like one system is over another. Oh, this thing of one person not wanting to marry or touch or shake a hand or just listen over here, like in Florida, to be honest with you, people are loving, hugging, shaking hands, everything. And this is only one place, but what I saw in Syria, I thought the guy said, we don't hate Americans, we love Americans. And the families are like, we love you. They're taking people into the home to come, they're taking them into the house to come sit with them and to relax and to chill and to sit down with no couch, sit down, eat food and stuff. I didn't see any TV in the wall in some places, unless the modern versions. But they sat there and they were happy just to talk and converse, eat food and share ideas. Even in the cabs, a cab ride is such a wonderful experience. I'm like, you see how impact this one video can have on somebody? It literally can change lives. And I'm watching the videos on Mongolia, and the young girl said she wants to be a doctor. And her life, she said, I'm gonna be a doctor. I'm gonna be a doctor. A young girl, she was like 16 when the video started, and she did it over a 2-year span. She said, I want to be a doctor, so I want to go back to work and help my family and to provide for them. And I'm like, but she did the exam and she didn't pass. It was a very tight selection. So out of 8 students, she didn't get to make it. So she said, I'll be a nurse instead. But she became a nurse. Well, she didn't become a nurse. She's going to still study to be a nurse in the city. But while there, she's like, I saw there are other schools here too. Maybe you can apply to be a doctor still. And she decided to go apply to the other schools, and she got accepted. And she's working. She should have finished by now by the time the video's finished, right? But we said a couple of years in. But she said it's about 6 to 10 years from when I saw she's what doctor she want to be. She said she's going to be a doctor because she wants to give back. And the families are missing her and asking, will she come back and continue the traditions? Will she come back and do all the stuff we did before? Let's go back to Fiddler on the Roof. The Jewish movements and stuff, and during the time of the Holocaust and during the time of occupations and stuff that happened in the past, people who still want to continue their lives, and they kept saying, do the children, do the young ones, do the generations after want to continue with what we've been doing? Have they forgotten? The people, let's go to real life modern time. People are now saying they want to move away from the countrysides and move into the cities. But you also have the opposite. People want to move from the countryside and cities and go into the countryside, because they say, hey, there's more, now it's peace, it's more quiet, it's more relaxing and stuff. That should be okay. That should be okay. In my opinion, everybody should be free to move and go where they want to and live and have a space, but don't take anybody's stuff by force, without working things out amicably. Don't take up another person's spot or thing. Don't force people to do what they don't want to do. Let them be free to choose for themselves. Let us reason together, as God said. Come, let us reason and talk together. And keep watching over there. I don't want to roll up on me in the back of the bush here. I'm just saying, because somebody said he's talking long. Maybe he's just sitting lunch. I don't want to be nobody lunch here. Anybody at water, I'm watching it. I'm watching it. See, I'm watching it. I ain't taking no chances. I ain't see nothing back here. But I won't go on too long on this. I'll just say, you keep making more videos. And for the people making videos about their lives and stuff around the country, around the world, make more. I like to see them. They're good. I like to see, I'm learning more. I like to learn more. I remember I said, the video is made to speak. I also learn. Flies bother me again. Tell me to move. I have dog poop in my hand. I'm still walking the dog. So, the people that they're making me want to do and travel more. And that's the idea behind making these videos in particular on YouTube. To make people want to go and get out there and live and to look at the positive and bright side. And when you do see things that are not positive and bright, to spot it out, to speak about it, and to make it known what's happening and to see if you can try to change it. In a way that's lovingly and kind. I watched another video on one of the shows last night, and the young lady was like, if somebody comes at you with a bad spirit, like demonic spirit or a hateful spirit, and talking to you mean and rough and angry and want to fight and kill you and all this stuff, and you respond back likewise, that's too negative, and that makes it even worse. She said, good must overcome evil. As I always say, good should overcome evil. If someone hates you and wants to go and destroy you and say they want to kill you and all this stuff, he said, tell them in love, hey, I love you, brother, sister, I want to help you. What possesses you to do such a thing and such? And talk it and reason out. And I'm hoping the time still permits where we can actually let the minds clash, but the hands stay down. I'm hoping that can still work. We can actually talk and dialogue things out and speak. That's what I love about Socrates and those guys back in Plato and I got everything I'm watching. I'm a product of it, man. I mean, it's when the stuff about, Media Persia and Greece and all this stuff where they can reason. It's good to reason and to let ideas be challenged and to be able to support and defend it. I think that's the highest thing. Like, even it goes the same thing with cars and other things. You say you make a better vehicle, let's compete against another vehicle and do the healthy competition. You make a video, I make one, you make one, I make one, and let's see how it does. But don't make it so that you can destroy one and start to sabotage the other person. No, let's say, hey, how can I make it better? How can I tweak and adjust and think? Don't we do that now? Don't we modernize things? Don't we try to learn from it and make it better? Another new line of stuff coming out. I was thinking about cars, right? So the cars, you make them one way and say, how can we change the suspension and the tuning? How can we change the dynamics and the handling and the movements? It works. I'm like, people, humans can change. Now, I don't believe in evolution as the guide for us, but I do believe in descent with modification, meaning that we adapt to our society. So when you ask somebody, you believe in this, ask them what they mean. Define each term first. I believe that we can adjust to our circumstances. We live in a hot place, so if it's hot, get an AC. If you can't, get cool fan or make some new device. I see, you know, fan with this, with the water, you know, the water line. You can do things to adjust it. You live in a cold climate, you can find a way to make yourself hot or heat, or make yourself clothing that can actually weather this stuff. You can adjust. You live in a place with arid conditions or deserts, you have different vehicles. Different animals do different things. The camels are still existing. The donkeys are still here. So, you know, everything. I've seen cows living in Mongolia and sheep and goat. I'm like, wow. I thought you only had to be in the Caribbean. You see, I grew up in the Caribbean, so I only saw a limited part of life. I didn't know this was existing out there, but it does. So I'm saying, are we really that different? Are we really that same? How about, and I'm doing that thing for effect, right? I'm just saying it because I'm trying to say we're different, but the same. We're different, but similar. Everybody wants to be happy and to be at peace and to have some love in their life and to be loved. Why not start by us showing it first if we're not doing it now? Because many people are, including this video, towards you, whoever is watching this. I love you and I care about you. I care about the animals. I care about myself. I care about everybody. I care about this whole world. It's such a beautiful place. It's a beautiful creation. I thank you, God, for giving us all of this. I thank you for making it as beautiful as you did. I thank you for all the activities here, And I'll give you one little tangent again. I watched a movie called, I think it was called The Life of Pi. A friend of mine showed me this, and I'm like, he was shipwrecked on a boat. The family was from India, and they had a zoo, and they had to move from India to, I think, the U.S. to start a new life. No, to Canada to start a new life over. And spoiler, call it what you like. I'm just saying. I'm just telling what I learned. I mean, sorry, it's an old movie already, so you might have seen it. But if not, it's good to watch. And somewhere along the way, the ship had some bad encounter and storms, and it sank. So he was the only one that survived it. From when the movie comes on, it's an interesting ending. He's the one that survived it, and a few other animals. Some of the animals that escaped, one jumped in the boat with him, and others swam up. Others he managed to rescue. And it's so weird that it's like, by the end of the movie, it's only him and another one of the animals that survived. I'm going to save it for them, right? But the one of the animals that there was actually trying to kill him almost all the way through the journey. But at the same time, he said, by the animal being on the ship with me, he had to keep his mind active because the shipwreck, I think, for the longest time shipwrecked. I'm like, say, cast away 200 and something days at sea. He had to feed the animal and give it what it needs, or else the animal would actually swim over and kill him if possible. But then when the animal did try at one point, the animal got stranded out there because he got smarter than the animal and went in the boat and left the animal outside. So it's an interesting story, but the way it ended is so interesting. He said, in the end, which story would you prefer? And the actor was great. I don't know his name, but he's a very nice actor. He did it so nice. He said, which story would you prefer? If I put people in the place of animals, or animals in the place of people, to let the story unfold? Because when it comes down to the end of it, the people who own the ship said we had to make some insurance claims to pay out. Sounds kind of interesting in life, right? Who do you pay it out to? Based upon what story you get. Here's life. We have things going on in this life, and we have different endings that can happen. And we said, well, how are we going to make the story end? How is it going to play out? How are we going to tell it? And how you tell it by how we live. I'm going to end it here because, I have a lot more to say. And, I know you probably say my neck is, I hope you managed to endure it. I'm just saying, watch Drew. Watch those videos. Watch the travel videos. It's interesting. I'm going to try to take a link in here and put it here because it's pretty good. And Life of Pi, good movies. Hey, hello. God bless you guys. But just as I said before, I'm going to call it Grasshoppers and Ants. Grasshoppers and ants, keep it simple. Maybe just to get you to watch and see what it means. Because there are a lot of grasshoppers and a lot of ants. So watch A Bug's Life too. Very good. Very good. All these things. They say even a broken clock and, well, I'll leave it alone. God bless you all. Just do good. Do good today. Do good. Outdo each other with good. And let's end the division. Let's make good things happen. Hello. Let's make good things happen. Let's show love to each other. Let's make good things happen. Let God smile today. Let God smile. Let God smile today. God bless.